come here. Come here, little sweetie. What are you doing? Let's see here. Is that? It's a little. Hey, what's up, everyone? A little dark. Let me adjust the lighting here. Hang on 1 second. I use eyeglasses. It's an app that you can put on your computer, and it controls your webcam. So it does a pretty good job of it. So let me go ahead and do this here. Let's see if that'll improve the lighting a little bit. So how's everybody doing? Back here at the ranch, and just thought we'd do some breakfast this morning. I'm getting ready to make Sierra some biscuits. And then for myself, I'm going to make a vegetable omelet with either some ham or some bacon. I don't know which one. And then I'll probably do some bacon for Sierra because I've got this really good all organic Beelers. It's a hickory smoked, and it's really, really good. It's like the best stuff I've ever had. That stuff, and then like the stuff at Whole Foods, you get the applewood stuff that was made with no sugar is really good. So, all right, Nick, hey, what's up, man? Good morning from Birmingham. Every time I see the word or hear of the town Birmingham, I think of Drive By Truckers because they have that song Birmingham. I really love that song. Joe, what's up, man? Good morning from New Jersey. Let's see, Brewski 222. Good morning. Good morning back at you, brother. Trevor Mall, Brian, love your videos, man. You inspired me to hit the road. Ah, cool. Right on, man. Well, have fun out there, Trevor. I've loved doing this. It's been great. I just kind of ran myself in the ground over the past couple of years with all the crazy stuff I was doing. So, hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? That hiking guy. Good to see you too, man. Steve Young, aloha from Honolulu. Oh, cool, man. How you guys doing out there? I wonder. I heard that Hawaii got snow with that last storm. I think it was like a couple weeks ago or something like that. It'd be pretty cool to see out there. So, Ernest, good morning from Tulsa. Yeah, I grew up in Wichita. We used to go down to Tulsa. So good morning from Maryland. Cool, Lisa. Thanks for tuning in. So his truck is not working. So Joe, the my truck, I made a bonehead move. I came back and I think I've identified the problem. There was a screw that was loose that was on the side of the fuse box. And so once I screwed that in with my hand, I thought, oh, we're good because none of the lights came on. So it was just like a connection issue. And then when I'll grab a wrench and I'm like being real careful about not touching any other metal. And I accidentally touch other metal and it shorts everything out. And so I'm just gonna go to the Toyota dealership up in Flagstaff. They actually have a really good reputation, and their service department's known for being really fair and really good. And there's a couple other things on the truck that I want to get sorted out. Like I've been having some issues. It's just old, So I mean, it's granted I'm gonna have issues. So I've been having some issues with like the power windows in the rear. They kind of roll real slow and they make some weird noises. So I'll probably get those replaced. And also too, ask them about the frame rot because the second gen Toyota Tacomas, they all have a little bit of frame rot. I've got a tiny bit on mine. It's not bad. I mean, it's like a little spot like that big, and it hasn't gone through more than like 2 or 3 of the plies of steel or the layers of steel. So I think I'm good for a while on that, but eventually I'll have to get it replaced. And so I figured going to the Toyota dealership would be good because then I could at least start to develop a relationship with them up there and all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and throw. I switched out my stove, by the way. I'm using the old Wild Wild West stove. I had an issue with the damper on the other one, so I'm just gonna get that fixed and then let's probably put the other one back in here. One thing I will say about this stove is even though it does have a really poor exhaust on the back there, and which causes like backflow on the front when you have the stove front door open. Other than that, the cooking area, the cooking surface on it is really nice because it's huge. It's the whole length of the stove, and that is one advantage of having the exhaust in the back of the stove. But I just don't think having the exhaust in the back is a good idea overall. I mean, you can work around a smaller stove cook space. And then the problem with this is like the door opening is higher than the exhaust in the back. So the smoke is naturally going to travel out the front. So every time that you go to load wood into the Wild Wild West stove, you get backdraft. And so it's kind of annoying in that regard. So let's see here. Sorry, I'm getting some text messages here. So, all right, let's see here. What else have we got? Drive-by truckers are freaking awesome. Yeah, dude, I love drive-by truckers. I used to listen to them all the time. And I had tickets to go see them in concert in Denver. And then something happened and they didn't come. But they're gosh, what was the name of that documentary? It was a documentary. I think it was back in like 2007 or 2008 that was released. No, maybe it was like 2010, and it was really good. And I just think those guys. I like that dirty Southern rock. I think that stuff's really good. So, all right, let's see what else have we got here. Let's see. We got Brewski from Olaga, Oklahoma. Ruby Leslie's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Fox for Peace. Good morning. Good morning back at you. Tuning in from Seattle. So let's see. Simply Wicked. Good morning. It's good to see you. And Sierra's driving. Thanks. From up in Maryland. Sierra's just right over here. She's giving herself a little bit of self cleaning this morning. This thing she's going to come over and join us for some food here shortly. So we're both doing good. I was kind of pissed off last week with all the issues that I had with the truck, but then after I shorted it out myself, I thought, well, that's my own bonehead move, and I need to man up and just get over it. And also realize, like, it's not really that bad to hang out here at the ranch while I get the truck fixed. It's just I was anxious to have it back because I haven't had it for like 4 months. And so it's been September 21st since I had my truck working. So it's been a while. So it's just kind of annoying. The issue is, I mean, if I was in a town, it wouldn't be that much of a problem. But the issue is being out here, I'm in the middle of nowhere. It takes like 20 minutes just to get to the highway. And that's on some of the roads aren't the best. And so, it's just kind of a pain to try to figure out how to get my truck to those places when it's not operating, to get it looked at. And I could probably, if I bought one of those really fancy diagnostic computers, which I'll probably get eventually just for vehicles, since I'm so far out here, I can start to figure out how to work on everything myself. But since I have those other things I want to do to the truck, I figured I'll just take it to Flagstaff and get it taken care of. So, all right, let's see here. Let me see. What else have we got? Let's see. Somebody's asking, Simply Wicked, Brian, do you have a brother, Eric? No, I've got a brother, Adam and Paul. So let's see. What we've got here. Good morning from New Zealand. That's Beth. It's 4:30 Tuesday morning. Oh, wow. I hope everything's going good in New Zealand. Things are going good here. COVID stuff's still kind of going crazy, but we're rolling with the punches as best we can. I don't really feel it out here just because I'm in the middle of nowhere, obviously. But I sense it when I go to town with the mask stuff and everything. It's kind of weird. Wow, that really is not cooking. Oh darn! I did not do this right. I forgot to close my damper in the back, and as a result, the heat is just going through the stove, and it's actually just making the stovepipe really hot, not making the cookbox hot. And so the firebox here now I got the damper going and the airflow open full on the front. What that will do is it will get everything in there real nice and warmed up, and because it'll have plenty of air for it to be combustible. And then it'll slow the escape of the heat out the back, even though the exhaust will go, like the heat won't go as fast. And so it'll heat that up for cooking. Also, too, I'm gonna pull these coals to the front. Another thing I will say about the Wild Wild West stove is that when the temperatures aren't that cold out, it's actually pretty nice because with the airflow in it being kind of not that great because it's not really sealed that well. It's not really an airtight stove. You get a lot of leakage and stuff like that. But the nice thing is you can put the damper all the way to like close and leave the back pretty much open, and it'll pull enough air through there where it will just slowly burn stuff all night long. So if if it's not like super cold temperatures and you don't mind just having like a warm stove instead of like a really raging hot stove, you can do that. So that's kind of a nice thing about it. And also too, if you take all of your coals and you put them towards the back of the stove, when you do open the front, it won't backdraft as much. If you have all the stuff towards the front, then it backdrafts a lot more just due to the design of the stove. If the exhaust vent was on the top of the stove instead of on the back, like, you'll see those stoves that have the stovepipe coming out of the actual stove box, not out of the back of it, like an elbow, because that's not a good design. At the top, that comes out like that, that always escapes out of the highest point because you think it's just heat, so heat's going to travel out to the highest point. So that's why this stove, when I was talking about it in the review that I did, like, I don't know, like 2 months ago or whatever, I was talking about how I wouldn't recommend the stove. And the reason why is because of the backdraft. Because every time that you go to put wood in and it backdrafts like that, you have to ventilate your shelter and it gets kind of cool in here. So, all right, let's see here. Let me get caught up here. All right, let's see. I love the camper and breakfast in bed. Yeah, that's definitely what Sierra's saying. She's over there just chilling right now. She's still saying, "What you doing, baby girl? You want to come over here? Come over here. Come on. Let's come over here and say hello to everybody." Oh, what you doing? I'm gonna get you some treats going. Well, come here. You know, she's still kind of snugged up over there, so she'll be good. I had the best time RC rock crawling yesterday. So what I did yesterday? Oh, I want to show you all. So I got some new game cameras, and here it is. It's called the Glass Raven 4G trail camera, and so this is what it looks like right here. And it's a really great camera. It's cellular, and so what happens is when I get a text message that says when I get an image, and I just basically put myself in front of it last night, but I didn't have enough batteries to keep it going all night long, and so let's see here. It was just basically like me standing in front of it, you know, like that. But it's a great game camera. It does both video and pictures, and then it's got this thing called I think it's called Sim Hero, just for your SIM card for it. And it's real easy to sign up. You just go to their website and you're just like, yep, I want to get this much data, you know, and then whenever you're out of it, you just sign up for more. And it was really easy to set up. I have a solar panel, and it's kind of an optional thing. You can run off batteries, but the solar panel will make it work better. And this one has a battery in it. It's got a 2400 milliamp hour battery. And so, you know, you just plug that in and you're good to go. And then it powers it up for a little bit. But I didn't have a whole lot of time yesterday to put those in the sun to charge them up. And so I think the battery went dead before the evening even came about, because it gets into shade over there around like 4 o'clock. And so the solar, though, will be kicking in this morning. And then I'm going to go back down there and fire it up and see how it's doing. I'm also going to put this camera. So I've got two of them. I'm going to put this camera down in the wash that's over there, because there's tons of animals that come through that area. Oh, cool. We got much better lighting now. There's a lot of animals that come through that area down there. I mean, like it looks like a highway, because like the ground has so many prints on it. And so there's an area that I have here in my ranch that has it has like elk for the new Big Ten. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm trying to sign different ones. You know, y'all saw that video, I'm sure, with Jay Laguerre. If you haven't, let me put this up. Jay is using the Russian bear tent, and so let's see, Russian bear. Let me do this. So this is Jay's video that he just did. He's crushing it with this new video. He's already got over 1 million views in the last week, and I was looking through my email because I was like, that Russian bear thing sounds familiar, and those people actually reached out to me back in 2020, and I must have just scanned over the email and not really recognized what it was. And a lot of times too, like during the winter months, I get hit up so much that I kind of just lose track of emails, because winter time is the busy time for me, and summertime, you know, is busy too, but not nearly as much as the winter. And so I think that I just didn't see it, and so I'm planning on reaching out to them and be like, hey, I know y'all hit me up in 2020, but would you be interested in chatting? Here's what the underside of the biscuit looks like right now. I'd be like, hey, would you be interested in working together? Because I saw that they have some pretty cool designs for different types of tents. Jay's tent is a 5-person tent, and they've got all the way down to like 2-person tents, like mini 2-people tents for those little bear. They call them like 2-up. I think that's what they call them. Types of tents, and so. Looking at that, maybe I also still like Ellis tents a lot. I think that Shackleton tent they have is pretty cool. And then, I mean, everybody recommends Kodiak tents. You know, a lot of people seem to have good luck with that. So let me turn down the lighting here. What have we got here? Good morning from Manchester, UK. Oh, wow. Thanks for tuning in. All right, single prep, and thanks for the thoughts on the trail camera. I've been looking at getting a few at our property. Hope y'all well, Hank. Yeah, thanks, Hank. Yeah, I recommend it. I mean, it was really easy to set up. It was also real easy to get the cellular done on this. I mean, it's basically, like I said, just go to the website. It's like mysimhero.com or something like that, and it took like 4 steps to sign up, and it was connected. So it's real simple. And then the solar panel is real nice too, because with the battery inside of it, you know, you kind of have a little safeguard there for anything. And then if you have batteries like the that has 8 AA that you can put in there, that's just kind of a backup in case this runs out. But I think after a full day's charge, I think this will run all night off of this. And so I'm excited to see how that does. And I'll let y'all know when I start getting images in. So it's cool because you can set up to work and just text right to you. So, all right, let's see what else have we got. Let me remove these people. Hide user. All right, cool. Michael Burrows. Hey, what's up, man? From Orange Beach, Alabama. Good morning back at you, brother. All right, let's see. Sure. Yes, I saw the Russian bear tent's amazing. It looks like it. Yeah, that's what Sherry. That's what Jay was saying. He said it seems like it's really well constructed. So it'd be cool to kind of work with that. Also, to that stove that they have. I don't know if y'all saw Jay like working with the stove and talking about the damper and how the airflow and all that stuff. Really cool how you could like open up the side of it with that one vent, let all that air in real fast, and really heat it up fast to where if you need like a burst of heat, you could. So um, let's see, snot bubbles. No, I don't think so. It says, given your age, do you think an enclosed overland trailer would be a better option than a tent? I just like being out in the elements, and so when I'm in the trailers, like the camper I have now, like the vintage camper I have, I love it and it's awesome. But I always itch to be outside, and so I like having it to where I'm more exposed to the elements and I can like hear the wind coming and all that stuff. I think what I'll do though is like the tents that I've been looking at have been specially designed to like to withstand wind and not have a bunch of wind noise, and so I think that's where I'll kind of have a saving grace because that Bighorn 3 is awesome for one person to set up because it's pretty lightweight and it's easy to manage. I mean, it's not hard at all. And once you get the setup process down, you can do it. It's like folding a towel. But it does produce a lot of condensation on the interior, and so you're constantly managing that. And then the wind on the nights when it's like super gnarly, it just keeps you up all night. It's kind of tiring. And so I think that going forward, the canvas will be a much better fit. So it'll be less noise. It might be a little bit more to set up, but won't be anything super crazy. And also too, they breathe, and so that helps with condensation. I need to put a little bit more wood in here, so let's do this real quick. Right now, what I'm rolling with is I've got some old juniper that I cut up yesterday, and so it's just this type of cedar wood for those who aren't familiar with juniper, and it's considered like a medium hardwood. It wouldn't be considered like a oak or anything like that, but it's definitely better than pine. And the smell of it's great because it's cedar wood, and so it smells like cedar. So I enjoy burning that. It burns pretty hot too. The only thing about it is juniper has a tendency to pop, and so if you use it in like a campfire and you have a puffy jacket and one of those embers pops on you, you got a hole in your puffy jacket immediately. So just a heads up if you're going to be using that. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see. I hear you, man, but 40 mile per hour keeps up. Yeah, well, and honestly, 40 mile an hour winds in the camper keep me up too. But I just don't want to pull a trailer. I think that when I'm out and about, I've been so spoiled with being able to go anywhere I want in my truck, and having that small truck like that. Like I literally, I mean, I never really saw people when I was out if I didn't want to. If I didn't want to camp near people, then I wouldn't see people. And I think that going to something that would limit me as far as where I can go, and I know people say like the overland trails, you can get to spots and stuff like that, but there's certain places that you just can't, and those are the places that I really like to go, like the really hard to reach places. And I get back in some of those spots and people be like, "You're camping back in here?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," because with the little slide out extension on my truck, made it super easy. And so going forward, I am going to redo that slide out extension for my truck because I want to have something hard sided that I can get into at night and just kind of just relax and just take it easy. But I found black mold on the bottom portion of the floorboard, I guess, if you want to call it that. And so I may have to call Bedrug and replace that Bedrug if there's mold on it. So we'll see it. It could have been just on the wood, just from condensation, but it also could be a major problem. So that's why I took it all out of there. And then I'm gonna take the Bedrug off and see if it needs to be replaced or if I can salvage it. But it'll probably need to be replaced just because if there's black mold on the bottom of the wood, then that would probably mean that it's coming from the Bedrug. So, but what I'd like to do is on the slide out extension, what I really want to do is I want to add a exhaust fan, like a max fan or something like that on the slide out extension, just to help with the airflow in there, and then also make it to where maybe I don't know, maybe the slide out extension goes out a little bit further. There were some times where I felt like it was a little bit too short. So maybe just 6 inches further out, that would be good. But in the meantime, here's our veggies for the omelet coming up. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna enjoy having like a backpacking setup because I've got so in the back of my truck right now, I just have my Nemo sleeping bag. So Nemo Salsa 15-degree sleeping bag. It's a little backpacking one. And then my backpacking air up mattress, which is it's from Sea to Summit. And then I've got my backpack in there and then all my fly fishing gear. And that's pretty much it. And so it's like it's open. And so I can just drop the tailgate and throw a tarp over the back, or if it's a nice night out, just throw a mosquito net over the back and I'll be good to go. So let's see how this is looking over here. I know that this stove is warming up pretty good. All right, Sierra, I think your biscuit's getting close to being done here, sweetie. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So here's how we're looking on the biscuit. Ow, it's hot on my thumb. Ow. Okay. Oops. We are going to flip out and use that going forward. All right, so we got Sierra's biscuit done. That's how it looks on the interior. Looking really good. Yep, looking good. Baked all the way through, so everything's nice and fluffy. And these are, what is it? I think they're called Annie Mae's. And I got them at Natural or at Sprouts, and so they're good. They fluff up real well and they taste great. So we're gonna let that cool down just for a second for Sierra. And we're gonna put butter in here. This is the way I do my butter. So for those, some people have asked, like, "Oh, that's the greatest way to do butter." And when I'm doing butters and stuff, I just take the stick and just put it down in here. And then when I'm done, I use the thing just to do it up again, and then twist it, and then you're done with your butter. So some people have said like, "Oh, it's amazing," and I'm like, "That's the way I've always done it." Let's put those in there so we can chat some more. I still have my teepee tent, the hot tent with the backpacking stove, and so I've got that in the truck too. So if I'm out and about and it ends up being colder conditions and I'm truck camping, I can bust that out and have a nice heated shelter. All right, come here, sweet girl. Let's come over here. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? You want to get some treats? That's a little warm. Come on. There you go. Hey, everybody loves you, girl. Oh, hey, what's up, Gus? So Dive Talk is here. Okay. Let me pin this. So he's got a couple questions. It says 2 questions while my wife refuses to feed me carbs. First, how does it feel to eat all this delicious food without any fear of getting stuck inside your cave underwater? And how dare yeah, man, it's awesome. I've always been blessed with like a metabolism. I can pretty much eat about 4,000 cookies a day and I don't gain any weight, which is nice. But yeah, I enjoy cooking all this food. I actually have like a ton of bacon. I've got all this cheese and everything else to make the most insane omelet for breakfast. And I was thinking of doing breakfast burritos, but I don't have any tortillas, so we'll have to do that another time. Let's see what else do I have in here. I think the omelet will be good to go. So, but yeah, guys, it's funny. Why was she refuses to feed me carbs? I love cooking over stuff. I made cinnamon rolls the other day, and I was like, oh, cool. It's like a 5-pack of cinnamon rolls, and I was like, awesome, I've got a cinnamon roll every day for the next 5 days, and within 2 hours they were all gone. So that's kind of how it works around here. Like, treats don't stay around me long, and then after I eat all my treats, I'm like, well, I might as well eat the healthy food because I don't have anything else to eat. So, all right, what do you think, sweet? Let's get you some more, bro. Sierra's been having so much fun running around the ranch ever since we've been back from oh, by the way, when I was coming back from Prescott the other day, I stopped off at this on this Forest Service road. It's on the way back. There's a really great old historic farming road that I can take into town. It takes about an hour and a half to get there. And on the way, I passed through 2 areas that are wilderness areas. And on the edge of them, there's some really awesome camping that I found. And one of them is along a river that flows year round. And so I'll be able to go down there anytime that I want. Just roll over from here. From here, it would take about, let's see, probably take about 40 minutes from my place to get down there, 30 or 40 minutes, because some of it's along pretty bumpy 4x4 trails. But anyway, get down there and set up, and then I could hang out next to these creeks. And it's like huge towering ponderosa pines. And then these massive, like, like cliffs that go way up and this big old vista and or a big old butte that's up there and I had these big mesas and everything like that. So I'm really excited to check that out. So once I get my truck fixed, which that'll probably be next year sometime, I'll go down there and truck camp and get that all on film. But I've got it in the next video coming up. I've got some creek crossings that I do that were like frozen over, but the water was still flowing, so we busted through the ice. So we've got those coming up in the next video, as well as putting the trail cameras down, and then let's see what else have I got in there. Oh, deconstructing the back of the truck of the slide out extension, and then a little bit of like the wood processing and like what we do around here for like chores and stuff like that. So, but everything's going good. And let's see here, we got these weird troll people that come on here and they put like weird links and stuff. It's always some weird name. So, Corey, you're asking how Sierra's doing. Have you started treatment yet? No, we haven't yet because of the truck. Because I haven't had I planned on coming back and immediately getting after it, and then we've had the truck's broken down 3 times since I've been back. So I've just been like, ugh. So hopefully we get this done this week and we can start next week. I've talked to the doctors. They're like, hey, we're ready to go whenever you are. And luckily, like the last scans we did before we went to Colorado to pick up the truck, she doesn't have any new growths or anything like that going on. No new tumors or anything. So that's good. And the nodule that they thought was in her lung is not a nodule. It's what they think is like she probably inhaled like a little tiny pebble or maybe a piece of bone a long time ago. And it's just kind of lodged in there, but it's tiny. It's real small. And it hasn't changed in size since last year. And so they're like, we know it's not a growth, because if it was a growth, it would grow. And so anyway, so that's what's going on there. So let's see, Danya. Hey, what's going on? Good morning. Just getting in there. How's the foot? The foot just ended up being just a really bad sprain. So I'm real happy about that. Yesterday, I was using a walking boot and walking around, and it popped a bunch. And so it's starting to feel better. It's real tender to walk on, but at least I can get around a little bit, which is nice. So definitely not what I feared. I thought I had a broken foot. So Corey, by the way, camera looks awesome. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I got really good connectivity this morning. The internet's been really kind of iffy out here as of late. And so it's nice to have good connectivity, so I can actually have a good picture and all that stuff. And this new camera is really nice because I can work with the lighting. Let me adjust different things on it to where it won't be all blown out. So what do you think, sweet girl? Is that pretty good? What you got on your head there? All right, let's get the rest of your treats going here. Hang on one second. I got to get Sierra the rest of her food. So she's doing these dehydrated meals. And she's been doing great. She's been having, like I said, so much fun running around the ranch and just being goofy. And like we went into Prescott the other day because I thought that after our winter camp, and I'm like, okay, everything's good. I got my truck ready to go, and we ended up getting towed into town. But stayed at a hotel for 2 days and just kind of hung out, got showered up and all that stuff. And Sierra is such a ham at that hotel. It's at the Hacienda Inn. It's the historic hotel in Prescott. And she like and they let her up on the couches and everything in the lobby and all that stuff. And she like sleeps on the couches with feet up in the air and all that stuff. And she like runs up to all the guests and does her little cute little like little hand things. And all the people there, they're like, we love her so much. I'm like, oh yeah, she gets that wherever she goes. So it was fun to go there. But then on the way back, I started having some more electrical problems with the truck. So that's why I think I'm just going to take it, like I said, to the dealership and just let them work on it. The one in Flagstaff has a really good reputation. So just take it there, bite the bullet on the cost, and just make sure it's done right and get on down the road. So let's see. Victor, you're asking what camera do I use? This is the Logitech. I think it's called the 920. It's high definition, 1080p, wide view. Well, it's a wider view, and then it's got speakers on both sides of it, so I can pick up audio real well. And so I like it. It's I think it was around $70 or something like that. And it's just a USB connection, the one that I have. Just plug it right in, you're good to go. And then I use the software. It's called Eyeglasses. And with Eyeglasses, you can go on and you can. Oh, sorry, my beard's all. I didn't even comb my beard this morning. With Eyeglasses, you can go on and you can change everything like the contrast, the color, the saturation, the warmth, all that stuff. And so you can really dial in your picture. Because a lot of times what will happen is that when you have a webcam, it'll be blown out or it'll be too dark. If it's at night, you can't see it. And so the default settings on the webcam are really hard to get like the lighting right. You almost have to be in like a studio just to like use the normal webcam settings. So that's where having like a software program like Eyeglasses helps. So Oh, Kathleen, thank you so much. It's so nice to see you both. Thank you for that super chat, Kathleen. We're both doing great. Sierra's doing good, aren't you, baby girl? And I'm doing great, and we're happy it's the new year. And so, let's see, no sweat on the bear. I didn't come on either. That's funny. So good idea on going to the dealer. They can do the diagnosis. Yeah, I don't. Most of the stuff in the car still works. I mean, like my locker works. That's an electric or air compressor locker. Air compressor works for the locker. Lights work. The only thing that don't work are the locks and the windows. But I'm like, that's probably just a fuse. And then it looks like the fuse for the alternator got blown. So that's fine because then it stops the circuit and you can't have anything go through. And so it's probably the blown fuse, and it's crazy. It's a 140 amp fuse, which is, if you know anything about electricity, that's a heck of a lot. So 140 amp fuse, and then for like I think I need a new starter because the starter is not reacting, and then I think I'll be okay. So hopefully it's nothing too bad. And I can have my rear windows fixed. After years of four wheeling and being on bumpy roads, the rear windows just make a bunch of noise when they're rolled down. It sounds like they're loose, and so who knows if the window frame casing, came loose or whatever. But I want to get that squared away because when I'm on 4x4 trails, I want to have the windows rolled down when it's a nice day, and that noise just bugs me, and so I want to get that fixed. But I'm shocked. In that truck, 341,000 miles. I hit the road at 100,000 miles, so 241,000 miles of four wheeling every day almost. And there's no rattles on the inside of that truck except for the windows, which is crazy to think that it's still that tight. So, all right, let's see here. Wendy's Place. Good morning from South Carolina. Good morning back at you. Thanks for tuning in. It's 11. Joe said, "Ooh, man, so it's cold in Central Michigan this morning. -7F wind chill and 11F temperature. That's pretty crazy. That's cold, man. Excited to see the new game camera footage. You've seen any tracks around the range? Yeah. So Danya, so lots of elk tracks and then deer tracks, and then I've got gray foxes that run around. Hang on one second. I've got gray foxes that run around, and then I've been finding bear scat on our walks. One right at the entrance to the driveway here, one down the road a bit on my friend's ranch. Well, going to his ranch, and then one on the back here by the public land on the backside of my property. I found bear scat at all three, and so and it's pretty big. And then my neighbor was saying that lives up on the ridge. He was saying he's like, hey, we've been getting the black bear on our game camera up here, and he's like, it's like a medium-sized black bear. But he's like, we've been getting on the game camera up here. I'm like, all right. And then my neighbor down the street over there was like, hey, I've been getting a mountain lion consistently on my game camera. And so I'm just keeping Sierra close, when we're outside working on stuff because I don't want her to come across either one of those. If she came across a bear, I think it'd be okay because black bears are pretty skittish and they run from dogs for the most part. Mountain lions don't. Sierra would be a meal for a mountain lion. And so that's why I always want to keep her close. And so when we're out running around on the property, I'm always yelling like, Sierra, stay close. And so she does, which is good. So, all right, let's see what else have we got. Thank you. A Madden Mind said, when I want to look for your videos, I type winter camping Sierra and your channel pops up. Great videos, man. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Fly Fish Noah. Greg, what's up, man? Good morning. Give Sierra and your scratch for me. Here we go. What's your scratch for you? Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. I need a couple of ear scratches. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, man, I need to go to a massage therapist, just get all the kinks worked out of my body, and then I'll be in good shape. So get Game Baller CC sitting in an office with no windows for 9 hours there. At least it's warm though. Enjoying watching you in my live stream. You live my dream. Thanks for the Monday live stream. Oh, cool. Hey, I hope everything goes good today. I hope your day is a good one, man. So, what do you have for wildlife around here, Joe? So I have a 9mm. It's just the Easy Shield Smith & Wesson, and then I've got the bear spray, which is actually my number one go-to because it's so easy to use. And the nice thing about bear spray is this is the one that it's a larger canister. It's 10 ounce, but you take it and you spray it out. And I don't know if you've ever sprayed bear spray before, but if you haven't, go out and do it and make sure you're upwind from anything, But go out and shoot it, and you'll see how much of a cloud this makes. And what it does is if you lay down like a cloud of bear spray, if an animal is approaching you,
And I mean, this doesn't take much to do. You flip it back like that and go to town, and it sprays out about 30 feet in front of you, and it creates this cloud, like this wall that's about 6 feet tall, and it's literally like a barrier from like the ground up to about 6 or 7 feet tall, and so any animal running through that will get hit. And I tested this on myself, and it was like the worst 6 hours of my life. And so it wasn't even bad too. I just tested it and kind of walked into it, and I was like, oh my god! And so I know for a fact it works. And there's people that say that like, oh, it doesn't work on bears and everything like that. I think those are just the exceptions to the rule. You know, you'll see stuff to where like a bear will walk through bear spray. Well, you know, humans can do it too, but you're just going to suffer like crazy. So, you know, it can happen, but I think as far as like the maximum amount of protection for the minimal effort and minimal expertise required, I think bear spray is where it's at, because you can literally like lay down a huge layer behind you and just run the other way, and then let those animals deal with it as they hit those layers. And you know, the thing about a gun is like the great thing about a gun is the noise, because it startles any animals because they're not used to hearing it, and so they hear that and they'll run. But if an animal's charging you and you got adrenaline going like crazy, and you got this little gun or this little projectile that you're going to try to hit this animal with and kill it with, I mean, like, good luck. You know, you probably won't be able to hit it. And especially if it's running at you and going all over the place and you're trying to go like this and boom. I mean, unless you're just like the best shot on the planet, I don't think it's going to happen. And so that's where I think like bear spray, you know, is like a really good one. But having the gun, I think, is needed, because, you know, if like you pull out the bear spray and you accidentally break the handle off and you can't use it, or if you use the bear spray and it's one in a million chance that the animal just runs through it and keeps coming, you know, you got to have a backup. And then also too, I like to carry knives with me, and so I do have a big knife like this, just called a Tonto knife, and you know, you can kind of go through anything. It's like a Rambo knife kind of. So that's a good one. And then I like this one for my pocket, because it's actually one that can clip on. You just clip it into your pocket right there, and it looks like a money clip. And this is a buck knife, and it's just a blade action. You can work it with one hand. And so essentially what this is for, this is after Sierra got attacked and got her neck shredded by those two big old German Shepherds. And so if an animal's coming at you, you know, you can put your arm out, especially like a dog. And so this is what this is kind of for. If dogs come at you, you put your arm out and they'll go for that first, and you can use this with one hand, operate it to get in there. The problem is that you've got this little safety right here. And if this is back, and if you're using this to defend yourself and you accidentally hit that, that could collapse back on your fingers and cut your fingers off. So you got to be real careful about that. Make sure that the like lock is on. But I like these. This one's really great. I've used it even when there's like tons of sand in here. I've used it and it still opens. It's really a great design, and it's just a buck knife. So, but I like all those. So, no, it's nice because this just goes in your pocket just like this. And you can't even tell it's there. So it's considered like a concealed knife kind of. I mean, you know. And then I also carry a pocket knife too, but I'm not going to be doing any self-defense with my Swiss Army knife. So, all right, let's see here. Hang on a second. All right, we're starting to get a little bit. So should I do bacon or should I do ham with I've got Black Forest ham that's really good. If I slice it up real thin and put it on the grill, put it on the skillet, then it tastes awesome in the breakfast or in the omelet. So I'm thinking, oh, what's up, Baby Yoda? Good morning. You got the bacon on there. What's up, dude? How you doing, Kenny? Oh, let's see here. Any close encounters with Sierra and wildlife? Yeah, Mike. We did have a close encounter with a moose one time. We were up fly fishing at Brady Lake up in is it Brady Lake? I think, yeah, Brady Lake up in the Holy Cross Wilderness area. And it was during rutting season, and we were fly fishing, and it's awesome. It's a place where you can catch greenback cutthroats, which are like those real rare cutthroats I thought were extinct in the 50s. And we're sitting there fly fishing, and Sierra's right next to me on the shoreline. And I look down, and she like looks up, and she has this look on her face, and she's like looking off in the distance. I'm like, what is she looking at? So I look over, and there's this moose walking up the hiking trail, and it was big, and I had a huge rack on it. And it came walking up, and see, the problem with moose is they can't see very well. And so the main predator for moose are wolves. And so they're worried about anything that looks like a wolf, like outline. And so like dogs, they mistaken, if a dog has like a slender profile, they mistaken a dog for like a wolf, and they go crazy and they start stomping the ground. Because the way that the moose protect themselves is they either put their head down and steamroll everything, or they just stomp on the ground because the moose are enormous. You know, they, especially male moose. I mean, you're like, good God. I mean, you see them in person and they're just tower above you. They're just crazy big. And so Sierra, being a dog, ran over there and was like started barking at it. And this moose just went crazy and was like, ah, and like stomp on the ground. And she's like, whoa. And she starts, like, the moose got pretty close to her. She kind of yelped because she was like, what's going on? And she jumped back, and we were able to get away from it because I was like, you get back here now. And she came cowering back, and then the moose just ran off because it's, you know, those animals are scared. Like that they're not, they're like, the bears aren't waiting for you, you know, like, or moose or mountain lions, or they're not waiting for you as soon as you go in the forest. Like, they're trying to avoid you because they don't know what you are, and they consider you possibly as someone as a threat. Now, every once in a while, you know, you're cooking food and stuff like that, you'll bring them around and you'll cause some problems. But my experience has been like, you know, just have your wits about you. Try to identify if you're in an area that has, you know, mountain lions or something like that. Like, a good mountain lion indicator is if deer carcasses are pulled, or if animal carcasses are pulled up underneath trees and it looks like they've been eaten underneath the trees or in the trees. That's a very good indication that mountain lions are around. So it's just stuff like that, just to kind of keep your wits about you, and you'll be fine out there because those animals are trying to avoid you. So, all right, let's see here. Go with ham. I'm going to go with the ham. All right, hang on. Let me grab the ham real quick. Let's see here. No, we got a tiny bit left. Tiny bit of this Black Forest ham. We'll have to get some more here soon. All right. Might throw like one piece of bacon in there too, just for good measure. You know, just to cook in some bacon grease. But you know, the animal stuff though, I've never camped in grizzly country, and so I can't speak to that. And honestly, grizzlies kind of scare the crap out of me because they're so unpredictable and they're so much bigger than black bears. And so that's where, you know, I don't have good advice for grizzly country camping. I'm sure there's people on here that camp in grizzly country and they can speak more to it. And I don't know if a lot of my fears are unfounded because like I said, I just have no experience in grizzly country. But it does seem like they're definitely more unpredictable and they're much more aggressive. And so, you know, that's and a lot larger. So you kind of have a lot more to deal with, I think, in grizzly country, especially if you're hunting and stuff like that. So, all right, let's slice a few more of these up, and we'll get back to chatting. All right. But you know, the only time that we had a mountain lion, here you go, baby girl, a mountain lion encounter was up on Marshall Pass in Colorado. At the top of it there, by that Forest Service cabin. And if y'all haven't heard me tell the story, it's the one where I was coming out up there and I was going to stay in the Forest Service cabin that night. And I got out of my truck to get some water out of the back, and I came around the back of my truck to get back in the front. And there was a mountain lion standing there on the road, and it was huge. I mean, it was huge. It had to be at least 200 pounds. I mean, it was crazy how big it was. And it was standing there on the side, on the road, like this, looking at me from the side, and it had like Hulk Hogan muscles, like all over it. And I was like, holy shit! I mean, it looked like, I was like, is that thing even real? Am I seeing stuff? And took one step and then jumped up a 15 or like a 20-foot cliff and left. And I was like, holy cow! So that was crazy. So, all right, let's see here. What else? Chris for 25K bacon. Definitely. Oh, you got charged by a reindeer. Oh, this is a cool story. Econo Ryan says, I got charged by a reindeer once in a national park, like 10 years old, feeding him and grabbed his antlers. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I want to say it was a moose. I really don't remember. Yeah, I probably don't want to grab the antlers. I'll probably make him upset. So let's see, Sandy. I live in Northwest Montana, and we have them all. One I fear the most is the moose. Oh, okay. So yeah, you know, the moose during rutting season. I mean, good Lord, you talk about a crazy animal. And so, and then especially also too, the mama moose after the babies are born. Like, you have to give. If you see a mama moose with a baby moose and they're like near a trail, you want to go way out of your way, to make sure that you don't interact with those moose, because those mama moose will charge you like no problem, because they can't see very well. So the thing is like, I'm just going to take this thing out because I'm bigger than everybody here. And so You know, and I've seen stuff with the male moose to where they've literally been there. They can knock their racks around and like knock trees over. And I've seen that, like knock or break like trees in two, like with their heads and everything like that. So I mean, as far as an animal goes, I like that's crazy. That's just, and they're so big. You know, you see one, you see a deer, and you're like, oh, that's kind of a big animal. And then you see an elk, you're like, wow, that's a big animal. And then you see a moose, you're like, that's like 3 elk. Like it's crazy. So, all right, let's see. Oh, cool. We got somebody from Deadwood, South Dakota on here. Tiffany Sue. Let's see. No shortage of mountain lions up here. But I sure can love some bacon, biscuits and bacon. So cool. I'll make some more for you. So let's see. Those mega cats have been feeding on domestic growth hormones. Oh, yeah. Those Kuan Yin. You know, that's what I was thinking too, is like some of these animals can get into human food. And of course, that's going to change their body composition and all that stuff. So if they're getting into cattle that have hormones in them, I mean that's definitely gonna make a difference. So let's see if 462 animal. I have a bobcat here. I think I've seen the tracks. Oh, cool. You know that's another animal too that I forgot to mention. My I haven't met the guy yet, but apparently a neighbor down the way got a great looking bobcat on his trail cam. It was actually just like sitting there, just relaxing. It looked like it was posing for the camera, like right in the center. So you got that of it, and really pretty looking animal, really pretty. It was like if you look up Northern Arizona bobcat, I mean you'll see some pictures of them. They're really awesome. So all right, let's see what else we got. See, Priya and I encountered mama and baby moose one time out on a truck. It was just dinosaur. Yeah, Danya, they're massive. It's just crazy how big they get. So all right. In your black bears, Wendy's. So Wendy's place was asking, in your area, do black bears hibernate, or are they on your property? You know, I think out here, I think they're a lot more active than they are in Colorado, just because the winter season is shorter and it's not as cold. And so I think they can still kind of operate and not necessarily fall into the deeper state of hibernation. Black bear is actually, it's a different term. It's not, excuse me, it's not technically hibernation because they still are active during the wintertime, but it's way less than normal. But I think here with the temperatures the way they are, and being more mild during the daytime and not just being constantly below freezing, I think that they're much more active out here. So that was one thing that, you know, I started thinking about when I was thinking about doing winter camping here on the property in my tent. I thought I might want to take a little bit of extra precaution because there's black bears running around and active, and I'm seeing the scat, you know, around here. It's like I gotta be mindful of that tent that I've used in Colorado. I've baked in that tent and cooked so much food over the years that it's got plenty of food smells in it. You know, and so I got to be careful with that going forward. So, all right, this is ready to pull off here. So we're gonna grab the eggs and start whipping them up and get our omelet going here. So let me grab this stuff off the stove. So I'll pull you around this way so you can see what I'm doing. So there you go. And the stove's working great. You know, like I said, there's nothing super wrong with the stove. It's just the fact that the exhaust port in the back makes for some backdraft in the front when you open the stove to feed it more wood. So here's what we're working with so far with this morning's breakfast. We're gonna do that's Black Forest ham and then an assortment of bell peppers that are all done up. And we're gonna get a little bit of cheese. Let's see, what did I do with that? I grabbed it. Let's see. Maybe I didn't. Let me go grab the cheese real quick. All right, so we're going to use this Organic Valley grass milk raw cheddar. Let's see how that works out. I've not used that before, but it looks pretty good. I got that yesterday or 2 days ago at Natural Grocer over in Prescott. So I'm gonna give Sierra some doggy treats real quick. Come here, girl. There you go, sweetie. All right, we're good to go there. So, all right, let's see. Moose are huge and they're very territorial. Yeah, Sandy, that's the thing. I've dealt with moose too. Boy, I tell you what, that's an unpleasant experience because they get so mad. You know, they get so mad. And you're just like, Buddy, I am not here to. I am not. I'll see how you can get out of that. All right, I'm having some problems with this packaging this morning. All right. Okay. There we go. Hang on, sweet baby. Want a little bit more treats? Why don't you come sit here? Come here. Over here. Give you some here. There you go, sweetie. All right. Get this cheese going, and then we'll make the eggs, and we'll go from there. So hang on one second here. All right, cool. Okay, now I need to grab the eggs and get those all whipped up real quick. All right, and I'm back. All right, sorry about that, everyone. All right, let's see. Let me get caught up on some messages here. So, JC, hi from Mesa, Colorado. Nice to spend the morning with you. Sierra, nice. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I haven't been to Mesa in a while, man. I like it up there. I love going up on Grand Mesa. That's so cool. So, Virginia Hutchins, hi from Virginia in Australia. Missing the tent already. Yeah, I know. I love that tent, but unfortunately, it's just too beat up now. And I've had that front zipper literally repaired like 4 times in the past 2 years, and it's to the point now to where I just don't think it's going to work out. So I don't know. I'm thinking about doing like a Velcro solution to it and just keeping it and maybe setting it up around here and making a tent platform for it, because like the floor issues can be easily alleviated if I would use a tarp. And in Colorado, the reason why I never used one was because the ground always stayed frozen. And so, you don't really necessarily need to use a ground cover if the ground's frozen, because you don't have to worry about any condensation or anything like that, or any mud. But out here, it's way different in Arizona with the way that the soil kind of reacts to moisture. And so you get a little bit of moisture on the soil and it just turns into a slurry. That's real hard to work with. And so the last snowstorm that came through, it was really cold at night. I had some nights where it got down to like negative 9, stuff like that. But the daytime temps were up in the 40s. And so all that snow was getting real sloppy during the day. And I think that maybe in the snowstorms in June, like this coming up to this month and then also next month, will be a little bit colder up there and maybe stay frozen throughout the day. Because if you remember last year when I was out here winter camping, there was no issue. But it was in February and March when the storms were more intense. And so I think it was a little bit of an early season storm, and it was just the daytime temps were still just a little bit too warm. So, Kat, what's up? The Moose and Oz are crazy huge. I miss Sierra and Brian. Hey, back at you. Hope you're doing well. So let's see here. What have we got? Yo, how's it all? Eric Trimmer. It's doing good, man. Everything's going great out here. So having fun just back at the ranch. Yesterday I spent the day just RC rock crawling and chopping firewood and just having a good day. Gonna call today and see if I can get my truck into the dealership and finally get it all squared away with everything. So I'm still having some problems with it, but it's all good. I've had some people be like, why don't you just go get a new truck? And trust me, I mean, I've thought about it, but the hassle of building out another truck, especially during COVID, with the inability to get a bunch of stuff in, when I built out my truck at the beginning of 2020, COVID was hitting. And we thought we'd have all the parts in by March. We didn't get them all in until October. And so I think that even now with the way supply chain stuff is, which is just crazy, but with the way the supply chain stuff is and how tough it is to get things, I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the truck that I have and sort out the rest of these issues, and then I'll be good to go. The engine's doing great. Ooh, that's a little too much. Hang on one second here. Actually, working great with that. I want to see if we can get some good lighting for this. Oh, sorry. I'm not really doing the best job with this thing. All right. Yeah, that's ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this on. Oh, another thing about this stove, which I will say is a good credit to it, is that it doesn't warp after you use it. And so, given its faults with the issue in the back with the exhaust vent being on the back of it and not really being in the right spot, it does have good cook space on the top. And then also doesn't warp like the rest of the stoves. Because what happens is when the stoves start to warp, your stove fan rattles around on it on the top because it's not a flat surface for the base here. And so this is real solid. This isn't gonna bend at all on your stove fan. And so what will happen is if you hear like a little bit in the big tent, every once in a while you hear the fan is kind of like banging a little bit. It sounds like it's rattling. And what is happening is it's like the base of it is just kind of fluttering a little bit on the uneven stovetop. So just heads up with that. But I still wouldn't recommend the stove. I'm just using it temporarily while I get the part to fix the other one. So, all right, let's see here. I can see pretty good. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. It's a little bit blown out. Let me. Okay. Let's see what have we got here. Morning from California. Headed to work for a while I watch. All right, cool. Hey, Alex, thanks for tuning in. I used to live. Enjoy being out there. Whoa, that's really bright. Let me turn this down. All right, we can do that. All right, so getting ready to put on the vegetables. We'll wait a little bit longer. Oh, okay. For the tents, though, that I'm looking at, for those that are just now tuning in, I'm looking at like a Russian bear tent, kind of similar to what Jay Laguerre is using up in Canada at the moment. He did a video last week, and he's already crushing. He's got like 1.2 million views already on that video. So looking at something like that. Also the Ellis tents, which is what I'd be looking at, the Shackleton version of that. What's nice about that one is it's got a vinyl floor that you can zip out, and so that'd be real nice for any sort of winter camping. The vinyl floor would be 100% waterproof, and all you have to do is seam seal the zipper seal around there, and then that'd be waterproof as well. And so you kind of like a bathtub bottom on there, which is ideal for any winter camping conditions because it's going to be wet. And then you can zip it out and then just shake it out and then pack up your whole tent and you're good to go. So that'd be kind of nice because then what you could do is when you're breaking down your tent is you could break down everything inside of it, inside the bathtub area that's on the floor, roll it all up, and then take your floor as the last thing to take out of there. So I might do that, but we'll see. So see, Paul, get more pancake mix for Sierra. Yeah, I've actually got some pancake mix right here. Let's see which one was it. I'm using the Red Mill. Buttermilk and pancake mix, and she seems to really like that stuff. So maybe tomorrow morning I'll get her some pancakes and get that all dialed in for breakfast. So let's see here. So let me start putting this on here. And then this week here at the ranch, I'm going to start working on finalizing like the outhouse. Probably do a little bit of stuff on the ATV shed. And then I want to start making plans for cutting a new road down into the lower section of the ranch because that's where I want to have my summertime residence with the camper down there and kind of near the truck camping site that I cut in last year. And so it'd be in that same section, but just a little bit lower. And the internet connection over there is amazing. And then I back up to state land, and so it's all just public land behind me, which would be real nice. And there's no one back in there. And then plus, when I'm back there, where I'm at right now on the ranch, you can kind of see where I'm at. Like if you drive by and you're looking real close, you can see where I'm at. But you can kind of like see through the trees and stuff like that. But if I'm on the backside there, you can't see me at all, no matter what vantage point you're looking from, unless you're coming in from the public land. And so I just like to be back there just for the peace and quiet. And also, too, it's right next to all the rocks, like that huge rock garden that I have on the property. So I'm excited to get that going. So what I'll need to do is cut a road that's a little bit more angled, and I'll have to level it out and everything to pull that down in there. Because if I was to back the camper back down in there right now, it's so steep that I think I'd probably just slide down the hill. So I'm going to cut that out and do it all by hand to make it look really, really awesome. So that's going to take me some time. So. All right, let's see here. What have we got? Let's see. I think we saw. Let's see. What's here? That's pretty good. Good morning from Black. Oh, let's see. Pat M. Good morning from Maine. Black bears, moose, bobcats, fish are small but vicious. Reported links. Oh, cool. High of 16 today. Wow. Can you explain to me a wood stove, heat shield, and the tents? Thanks. Well, so Bill, this is a good question. So somebody was asking about some for wood stove heat shields, and I actually don't use a heat shield in my tent just because there's enough distance between the back of the stove and the tent wall. I've seen some people that do, and also too like a floor cover, because you can get a floor cover. So that would be like a fireproof mat, so that if any of your coals fall onto the ground, it doesn't put a hole in your tent floor. I obviously never used one of those because you can see with all the holes that I had in my tent floor. And so, but I recommend using them though. They're good to use, and it's kind of a nice little area just to put your tent or your stove on. Another thing too is that those stove mats will help it to where your stove legs won't like melt into the ground. So if it's really cold and you got your stove running warm, it could have it to where it makes that ground soft and you go into the ground there. So that's something to think about. And then also too, obviously just protecting your tent floor. So, but I never did use a heat shield or any of that stuff, just because I was traveling so minimal that I didn't want to carry extra stuff. I mean, I was packed to the brim when I had all my stuff in that truck, especially for when I'm camping. So, all right, let's see what else have we got here. Let's see. So, Mike, you're asking if I was to get something else, would I get another Yoda or go with something different? I'd probably go with something different. I really like the old K5s with the four-wheel camper in them. I think those are really cool setup. So I've been on the lookout for one of those. It's just you can't really find them. They pop up every once in a while. But if that happens, I'd definitely go with one of those. But in the meantime, I'll stick with Toyota, and just kind of just roll with that. But I would like to get another rig just to have, and also, a full size would be fun. A full size vintage would be a blast, and get like some solid front axles and just kind of roll old school, with something like that. And I'd love to have that pop up camper on it. Because four-wheel camper, when they made it for the International Scout, Bronco, and Chevy K5, they made it for like 4 years, and it's a pass-through. So you put it in, and then if you modify the way that it clips down on the outside, you can actually open it from the inside. So it'd be kind of nice to have. All right, we're looking pretty good so far. Let me show you what we got here. Here's the omelet so far. So it's just about ready to get there. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the raw cheese. And then we'll flip it over here in a bit and let it finish up. I think I might need, hang on a second here, I might need to actually stoke the stove just a tad bit. So here, I'll show you what I do when I stoke the stove. So essentially what I want to do is it's getting a little bit cooler up front here because all this stuff is burned. The biomass in the front is burned. So the stove has actually, the fire in the stove box has moved back a little bit. So all you do is you take this poker like this, which has looks like kind of like a hook on the end, and you can hook all this stuff in there and pull it towards the front. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see. There it is. And then I use welding gloves. That way it's really easy to work with the stove. You never have to worry about your hands getting burned with these. So essentially, you come in here and you push the spent ash back on the underside like this, and then you pull this stuff forward. And then what that does is that creates more heat towards the front of your stove here for cooking. I don't like this stove though. And what you want to try to avoid is not having coals go into your other skillet there. That's an easy clean though. It's no big deal. So, all right, here. See, Baby Boda. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat. Let's see here. Brian, go check out Ario Link Go PT. It's a camera. Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah, I'll check that out for sure. That's kind of why I got these too. Was that with the cellular component of it, it can send me pictures immediately as soon as they come across, and it's fast too. I mean, like I walked in front of the camera, and like less than a minute, I had the picture on my phone, which is pretty awesome. So, all right. Coldy, good morning from Leadville. It's been 0 degrees at night to 30s in the day. I've been stupid. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I miss Leadville. I always enjoyed camping up around there, and it's a bummer that the Champion Mill Trail was shut down, the 4x4 section. I used to maintain that up until 2018, and back when I did it, like I used to run it twice a week, and I get so much trash out of there. But I'm like, they're not shutting this place down. I want to keep camping here because I love the river back in there, and it was just awesome to hang out. So I always have some good memories from back in that spot. All right, let me see. Is this ready to flip over yet? Hang on 1 second. Let me hang on. I gotta do some surgery on the omelet here real quick. All right, we're looking good. All right, successful surgery. It'll be done here in a couple minutes, and we'll be good to go. So, but the plan for this week, like I was saying, was work on the outbuildings. For the outhouse, what I need to do is I need to install the exhaust pipe that I have. So what I'm using is I don't have power to it to run like an exhaust fan for the to air it out and make sure that the decomposting goes well, so there's no smells. So what I'm using is like the Forest Service model, to where they have it to where you have a stovepipe that's black, and the stovepipe goes all the way down into the waste box, and then the waste box itself is airtight except for the little seat that you have on there. So what'll happen is with the outhouse being cool on the interior, with it being all shaded and all enclosed and all that stuff, and having a one place for the air to come in, it will come in underneath the seat cover, because you got the seat cover down. It will come underneath there in the little air opening, go down underneath, and then the hot part of the top of the black stovepipe, because as the sun will heat it up, pulls the air up through. So it creates like a natural airflow, so that way the odor doesn't just stay in there. Also, too, for the odor, just using stuff like, you can use ash from your stove. That works great to nullify any smells. And then also, too, all the wood shavings from when I'm using the chainsaw. That's great, because I mean, out here I'm only using pine and juniper, and that's either cedar smell or pine smell, and both those are great. So you can use the sawdust from that too, and it works great. But so I'm going to do that today. So I need, and also this week, and I also need to make the roof on it more slanted. I just have like a flat one on it just for the meantime, and then also build like a front door on it and all that stuff. And then for the ATV shelter, I want to build a sleeping loft above the workshop area, and so I'll need to do that before I start to enclose the roof, because I want to get that all dialed in. Then I'll figure out the roof on the back end of it. The front portion of it, where the ATVs are parked, that roof is almost done. I've got the frame done on it. It's just with my foot kind of being sore from spraining it real bad, I haven't had a chance to go over and do the rest of that stuff. So we'll have to get that taken care of this week. And it looks like more moisture on Wednesday night and Thursday morning, so we'll see. And we'll go from there. So, all right, it looks like this omelet is getting close to being done. So let me pull this up real quick. Yep. We are all set. All right, we're going to pull it over here. What you think of this week, girl? All right, we are all set. So here's the omelet. It's good to go. We got ham in there, Black Forest ham, and then bell peppers, and then raw grass milk cheese. And then I'm going to grab got some good strawberries and blueberries as well. So that is going to be our breakfast, and probably make a cup of coffee to go with it, and then we're good to go. So, all right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and tune off or log off here. But I want to say thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this morning's live stream. And then the next video, I'm working on it right now. And if I get it done today, I'll post it up this afternoon. If not, it'll be tomorrow. So, but I'll have another video for you here shortly. And then I want to do a live stream, maybe, let's see, it's Monday. Let's see, Wednesday night it's going to get, I don't know, maybe tomorrow night or maybe on Thursday, depending on how the weather is. But I'd like to do one from the actual workshop and like me working on it. It'd be kind of fun to like have you all there while I'm hammering stuff around and everything like that, and we can chat about it. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you have a good start to your week. Sierra, say what's up to everybody. Say what's up. Be cute for the camera. Yeah, you just do that naturally. All right. Thanks everybody. You have a good day, and thanks for tuning in. All right, we'll see you on the next live stream.